And everyone, let's call to order our Board of County Commissioners meeting for Wednesday, December 29th.
Commissioner Stottlemyre.
Present.
Commissioner Harris.
Present.
Chair Waymire.
Present.
Vice Chair Dickinson.
Present.
Commissioner Dunn.
Present. Let's have a pledge of allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, doesn't look like we have a pastor today, so we'll move on to the correspondence organizational business. See none. Public comment. None of that. An agenda. Today would include minutes from our regular meeting on the 22nd, minutes from our study session on the 27th, tax change orders, those are negative $23.54, and payroll in the amount of $1,182,700.71. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Do you have a second? Thank you.
Commissioner Stottlemyre.
Yes.
Commissioner Harris.
Yes.
Commissioner Dickinson. Commissioner Dunn.
Yes.
Chair Waymire.
Yes. On to items of business, first of which we're going to discuss approving the Advent Health consolidation of Suites 3 and 4 here in the Annex building that we discussed on Monday.
Yeah, thanks, Colt. As you just alluded to, we discussed this at Monday's study session. Afterwards, I contacted Dallas and asked him to come back. Sole reason for that is one of the things that we did not discuss was the cost of the remodel that they are contemplating and who that cost is going to fall on. Wanted to have that discussion publicly, and talking with all of you, I think we're on the same page that the county's not going to foot that bill, that is something that Advent Health is going to take care of. But I wanted to have that discussion publicly, wanted Dallas to be here for that discussion, to give him the opportunity to give any feedback. We've talked quite a bit about the very, very generous rate of rent that we charge them over there, and so you take that combined with the structural modifications and feel like it's appropriate that they foot this bill. But do any of you have any questions about that or any questions for Dallas before we move forward?
How many years do we have on, the last lease they signed, how long is that for?
I think we changed all of their leases to 5 years with, but I think they have 1 year outs on those leases, so.
I think we understood that when I asked the question about how long they're going to stay after they do this, that they were like, well, we're going to put a lot of money into this, so
Right.
we're going to, yeah, so I think it was not stated, but it was pretty much understood that was going to be theirs.
Yeah.
Is the annex individually, utilities charged individually or all in a lump sum?
I believe that is all in a lump sum.
Is this part of their rent? We pay the utilities?
I've never really looked at the utility bill that close, so I'm not sure.
Brandon would know that, and unfortunately, he can't be here today, but I'm quite sure that, yeah, we pay all of that.
That would continue after the remodel and may or may not be higher.
Well, I think that's a separate discussion, and I'm glad Colt brought it up on Monday. And I need to dig into our leases and see if there is a mechanism within the lease itself that gives us the ability to alter rent. If not, then I think as part of this new lease for the restructured space, I think we need to include that. Just as Colt said, our rents haven't kept up with inflation. They haven't kept up with increasing utilities. And I think that rather than wait and in 10 years do a massive increase that's off-putting for everyone, trying to do it incrementally just as our costs go up. And so if that mechanism isn't in our current leases, then certainly as we draft this new one, it will be.
More or less what's in front of us today is just the concept, the idea of combining the two suites and folding that little bit of public area in with the new combined suite. A motion to that extent would be to approve the proposal from Advent Health regarding the consolidation of suites 3 and 4 in the county annex building.
Motion to approve?
Who would like to second it?
I'll second.
Commissioner Harris?
Yes.
Commissioner Dickinson?
Yes.
Commissioner Dunn?
Yes.
Commissioner Stottlemyre?
Yes.
Chair Waymire?
Yes. All right, our second item of business is consider awarding a bid to replace the flooring here in this building as well.
Yeah, so this is a project we've been discussing for some time. It's kind of part of a full renovation of the common areas here in the annex. LED lights have been installed. We've skim coated and painted the walls. The next phase of that project is the flooring. You know, we reworked this project, we reworked this bid, added new flooring, still didn't get but 2 bids. We don't, there's not a lot of interest in bidding this project for whatever reason. Low bid came in at $72,900. That would bump up to $76,600 if there's need for the high moisture adhesive. Now, one of the considerations in light of what you just approved with Advent Health is this particular quote includes that south restroom, which would literally be going away in a year, as well as that south hallway. So I'm not recommending that we literally approve of this as it stands today, because I think in speaking with the contractor, we can get that price reduced. I don't know how much, but certainly we can get that amount down some. So what I would ask for, if you're interested, is that you give me the authority to approve of the project up to the $76,600, knowing that I'm going to end up getting it cheaper than that. The project, it includes this room, the common areas. Colt, you asked about the entryways. It does include the entryways. We're not putting the same flooring in the entryways. We're apparently putting, it's a highly abrasive carpet in those areas so that we can vacuum that. Any other questions about the project before we potentially move forward?
I would just be interested, we thought that we were maybe going to get a bid from a local company, and we didn't. I would be interested why they couldn't or didn't, but they didn't, so I guess we can move forward.
Yeah, and certainly I know Brandon had extensive discussions with that company, and certainly when he's able to get back in here, yeah, we'll.
Okay.
Suffice to say they're well aware of it, so had the option.
Yeah.
So an affirmative motion would be to award the annex flooring bid to
Campione Interior
Campione. I was
Solutions.
going to take a stab at that one. Interior Solutions per the submitted proposal, and you'll work on negotiating that to get an allowance for the area not done.
Do we have a time frame?
Not that, I don't believe so. I mean, I think that the expectation, as was stated in the RFP, was that they get started on it fairly immediately. So I don't think they're gonna unnecessarily postpone it. I think they want to get in and do the work, so.
And then along the floors, is that, are they doing that, or we do, they're going to do that?
Trim,
That's a part of
yes,
it?
That's part of it.
Vinyl base,
Cool.
yep. That's part of the bid.
That'll look nice, because that looks kind
Yeah,
of crappy
yeah,
right
it
now.
does, it does. And I think we just have to understand that if we neglect to do that south hallway, which, you know, I think makes some sense, it's just not gonna look real good for the next year until Advent gets in there, and so. But yeah, I would ask for a motion to accept the bid in an amount up to $76,650, knowing that I'm gonna negotiate that down.
What happens if we decide not to do that, and then for some reason, for whatever, fire reasons or whatever, they are not able to do that, then we'll have to have them come back and then just finish that part of the project?
Yeah, I mean, that's the chance we take, yeah. Yeah.
Your motion to approve?
So move.
Second.
Commissioner Dickinson?
Yes.
Commissioner Dunn?
Yes.
Commissioner Stottlemyre?
Yes.
Commissioner Harris?
Yes.
Chair Waymeyer?
Yes. On to staff reports. Derek?
I don't have too much today, Colt. I don't know, and this may be a question for Janet as much as anyone, but it's our last meeting of the year. Reorganization, when is that?
Be the Monday, the 10th, I believe, is the date. Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure that we get that on your guys' radar. So we believe it is Monday, the 10th, so that'll be the Monday after next. This afternoon, we're having a retirement reception for Alan Radcliffe. That is at 2 o'clock, and is that here? Okay, and so, would encourage all of you to stop by at that if Guy, do you know, and I should know this, how many years Alan has been here?
Yeah. 36 years.
Yeah, so 36 years as an employee, that's incredible. Like, that is an incredible run. And you just, when we hire people now, if we get a couple of years, we're happy. If we get 5, we're ecstatic. When we hire someone today, if they give us 5 years, we're ecstatic. You think about 36 years with the same employer. That's a phenomenal run. And I've told this story several times, but Alan's coordination on the radio project where we upgraded the radio towers may be the single most impressive piece of work that I've seen in my time here. He did a fantastic job with that project, and certainly all of our first responders have been the beneficiaries of that because we can communicate so much better now. There's so many less dead spots in the county, and so certainly appreciate Alan's work, and we'll have the opportunity to speak later, I'm sure, if we want, but would just encourage all of you, if you can, to make it to that reception. And that's all I have. Thanks, Cole.
All right. Casey?
So our active case count is 224 active cases, which is one of the highest active case counts we had. I just had Tom look it up in the last time, or our highest to date throughout the pandemic was 260 active cases, and that was November 2021, or 2020, I'm sorry. So we're getting close, and with Omicron, probably going to blow that number out of the water, Tom thinks. So those are his words. Monday, the CDC changed their quarantine and isolation guidance. So we met with Dr. Ransom yesterday, like we always do on Tuesdays. And Franklin County has changed ours to reflect that. So it is a shorter quarantine period. The reasoning for that is they're seeing that people are most contagious 1 to 2 days before they show symptoms, and then after symptoms, usually about by the 5-day mark, they're really not shedding the virus anymore. But that is if they're asymptomatic by day 5. So those are on our website. They've been shared on social media. I can get you copies if you want them. If people have questions, they can call me or call the health department, and we can better explain. So.
Any questions?
Casey, I was here yesterday and I noticed people going through the south station there. Are they getting tested or are they getting vaccinated or both?
In the trailer?
Yeah.
That's just for testing. The vaccine
testing.
clinics that the health department does are in this room, actually.
The
And
people could show up or they need a
They do have to call to get a test. They call the health department and they schedule them same day, but they do schedule them to try to alleviate the issues of lines in the parking lot.
Okay.
When I got here this morning, there was nobody in line, and I thought maybe that was a good sign. That probably they haven't
not.
opened yet or whatever.
Yeah, they
It's
don't
like-
actually start testing until 9 a.m.
Oh, well, there you
because they're
go.
making phone calls.
Your
and
Dallas
setting
said, no, it was really
appointments.
busy yesterday, so.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yep.
okay.
It was Monday, I believe, that we had vehicles literally snaked through every part of our parking lot. And I'll commend Sheriff Richards. He actually came down and helped direct traffic because it could have very easily been gridlocked. I mean, they were literally every path through the annex, we had cars snaked around. And, you know, if we look at that as a metric for how this is spreading, then that's not a good sign, but because we do try to schedule, we try to prevent that from happening, but the requests for testing right now are just so voluminous that it's just hard to avoid it, and so that's where we're at. But
So if I, well, maybe I shouldn't even ask this, but I didn't get an appointment and I was in this line and I get there and they say you don't have an appointment, are they gonna test me?
More than likely, yes. If for some reason they didn't have a test available or something, that could be a different story. But I would say yes, they're going to test you.
And this isn't
The
because people are
line-
traveling before this.
Right.
This is really,
Right.
Yeah.
The line is really, Ottawa Family Physicians also uses our trailer, and so they test at 3 different times throughout the day. So when they do their test, that's when it gets really backed up. And we've worked with them, and it's been much better, but Monday was just, they had so many people trying to get in to get tested, it was impossible. So, yep.
All right. Thanks for the update. Sheriff? Good morning.
Just a couple things. Yesterday, we did have the retirement reception for Rick Geist, and we kept that kind of small with just us and the PD where he had served before, and then his family. And if you know Rick's family, I mean, by saying it was small, it was, it was still kind of crowded. But one of the big things that we did there during that, though, was, as you know, Rick's son Russ Geist had been a deputy here that died from an illness that he suffered on duty, and his badge number had been retired. And then when Rick came on as our undersheriff, we brought that out of retirement, and Rick carried that badge number while he served. So yesterday we did issue a proclamation to officially retire that badge number again, and that proclamation, or a copy of that proclamation, will end up being displayed in our office here in the near future. So just wanted to let you guys know that, and I'll try to let everybody know when that happens, because we'd like to do something somewhat formal to do that. Throughout our history since this has kind of started, there have been 4 badge numbers that have been retired from the sheriff's office, and we would like to do something to kind of honor all of those individuals who carried those badge numbers, to make that a little bit more significant. So, but I'll update you guys as those things come about. And the last thing I have is, as you know, we do have a volunteer force as well. We have our reserves who serve as a reserve deputy, and they're in uniform and they have certain requirements. We also have a group that is the sheriff's posse, who carry special deputy commission, which means that they can do the things that we specifically assign them to do. Most of those people, they have a variety of backgrounds and skills that they bring. Most of them have prior law enforcement or military experience, and they train and they do things like that for us. And so it's a group that has been there to support us since I've been here. I mentioned that because one of the founding members of that was Leroy Sweat, and Leroy died on Christmas Day at 81 years of age. It wasn't that long ago that he was sitting in our control room as he got older and his health got worse, he still wanted to help. The one thing, they have a variety of backgrounds, but they all have a heart to serve. And so Leroy would tell, he's like, hey, I can't do a lot, but I can push buttons in your control room if it'll help. And so he was there to do that. And we're just appreciative of all that he did for us and his family for sharing him with us over the years. So, but Tuesday we will be having his funeral services at Danvers. So we'll have a contingency from our office over there. But just publicly acknowledge his service to Franklin County. Express our appreciation and condolences. Does have any questions?
I have a question. The city is getting a grant, and they're going to be able to put a mental health kind of a person out there. I mean, and that is what a great thing that is. And I just wondered, is that something that we can piggyback on, or that will be, I mean, it just,
Yes, we are part of the same CIT council as with the police department. It's a countywide thing. We had for a few years, we had money budgeted that was set aside as our matching funds if we were going to be able to secure a grant. We stopped putting that in the budget because we had not been successful on any grants. And through coordinating with Elizabeth Layton Center, their concern that they had when the last I talked to them was finding somebody, if we got that, finding somebody that could fill that. And so we kind of stepped back from that a little bit. And I have the same understanding that you do, that they did get that, receive a grant, and that they are going to be working to find someone for that. So we'll be coordinating with them when the time comes to find out what it is that we could do to do something similar. We have the same need that the city would have. It's just a matter of if those resources and those opportunities would be available or not.
and definitely whether they can hire somebody is going to be a huge
Yes.
question mark.
Yeah, and I'm hopeful that they will.
Cool.
Appreciate your time. Paul, anything from FCDC? All right, Kenny?
I forgot to mention last time, I just wanted to let you guys know the lagoons at Centropolis were inspected here just like a month ago. I think the only comment we got back was sort of grass was a little tall, and I just wanted to thank David and the Public Works crews. They made it out there, I think, within the week after I talked with them and got everything mowed. Guy went back out and said that everything's looking great. So I think we've made it through that inspection. That was really the only, I think, item that they had noted that we needed to get addressed, and they definitely helped us on getting that taken care of quickly. So.
Great. All right, thank you. Public Works?
So since last Wednesday, our road and bridge crews we hauled rock to 5 different blade districts. We repaired guardrail on Rock Creek Road east of Oregon. We repaired an entrance and installed a new entrance, and then completed associating ditch work with both of those projects. We've also patched the sheriff's parking lot had some pretty big potholes, and we took care of those. And then our weekly trash pickup, it seems like we did that as well. And then we also, we had an operator and a piece of equipment help the solid waste division and SCS engineers dig the test pits out at the landfill that was associated with the landfill project. This week, we're taking care of a few small work orders and using the moisture that we got yesterday, which was a godsend. It's probably the only time you'll hear me say that about rain, but it was very helpful, and it'll be nice to use that to get some of our roads squared away. On the solid waste side, as I mentioned, we did the test holes last week. Today, SCS is back out there. They're going to be looking at the existing monitoring wells, and then installing a couple of additional monitoring wells. So that work is ongoing right now. And I should have a summary of the findings of the work that they did last week that should be coming next week sometime, so I'll have a little more information on that. Project-wise, in addition to the landfill project, we have already started looking at our 2022 chip seal project. We've identified the roads, and we're going to be going out and taking a look at those, getting some measurements, and getting that project ready to go to bid in January is my goal for that. And then I anticipate following that up with the dust control bid in February. So trying to shove these even closer to the start of the year to help us hopefully get a little better bid, a little better price, and then get the work done a little sooner, especially on the chip seal, than maybe what we've historically had in the past. Also, tomorrow, we're going to be closing the Osborne Terrace Road, where we're going to be replacing the Osborne Terrace Bridge. That project, we've got the geotech crew from Cook Flat and Strobel coming in, and they're going to start drilling their 4 boring locations. And so we're going to close the road early Thursday morning. We're going to reopen it that afternoon so that traffic can get through over the holiday weekend. And then first thing Monday morning, we will close the road again, and it'll be closed through Thursday probably, so that they can leave their equipment, they can work and not have to deal with traffic. And we'll have a detour set up to get folks around that project site, working with Casey to get something out on social media and get that posted for folks. So that's what's going on in the public works world.
All right. Commissioners, Dom?
It's pretty slow.
Yep. It's the holidays, Ron?
Yeah.
Yep.
I would agree it's a slow time, but I did want to just mention Alan Radcliffe. You know, we have a really, really strong leadership team, but Alan Radcliffe is probably one of the team members that is known even outside of Franklin County. He has responded to disasters from fires to tornadoes across the state, so he will definitely be greatly missed. Appreciate his service.
Anything, Roy?
I just want to wish everybody a Happy New Year.
All righty. Who'd like to make a motion to adjourn? So moved. Who wants to make a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All right. Any opposed? We're adjourned.